So this is really a video for anyone who has the energy of threes, fives or eights in their soul contract. And if you don't have those energies, then that's fine, carry on watching, because you may very well relate to what I'm about to share. And if you don't know what energies you have in your soul contract, then I put the link below so you can find out. And I talk loads about the soul contract, so I will put those videos down below as well. So for those who don't know me, my name's Antonia, and I love to talk about emotional healing, and that's what I do with my work. And the whole purpose of healing emotionally is to create deeper levels of self-awareness of who you are and how you're living your life. And with that information and that knowledge, to become wiser, to become braver, to become more focused on what it is that you really want to do and how you want to do it. And the more we're aware of who we are and how our inner reality creates our outer reality, the more that we can really work with that energy to create really wonderful things in our life. That's enough about me. So today is really all about discovering emotions. And the reason I mentioned this video was for threes, fives and eights is because these numbers all like to stay in the mental body rather than come and feel things in the physical body. And what this means is we often do not want to process difficult emotions. We would rather think about them and get into that pattern of stress, anxiety and overwhelm than really feel what the deeper currents are telling us under the water. And a really good example of how this works in my life, and I have all three of those numbers just all jumbled in my soul contract, is that when I am processing a big emotion, but I don't quite know what it is, it's like a big whale under the water and I can't see it, I can't feel it, I just know it's there. And it creates this tension because the program's wanting to come through and be felt and be acknowledged. And I don't want to feel and acknowledge it. There's a very big fear there. So what happens is it creates this tension in my body and it pushes on me, it pushes on my restraints, and it creates a lot of anxiety, a lot of tearfulness, a lot of stress without really understanding the true cause. And it builds, and this momentum builds and it builds. And the other way it can happen, and maybe it happens for you, is you'll be going along in life really merrily, fine, everything's fine, and suddenly you fall and you trip down a really deep black hole. And a lot of clients resonate with that. Like suddenly you're, big stuff is coming up and big emotions, and you're like, where did it come from? Well, it was just rising up to the surface and it just exploded out like a volcano. Because with each of these soul contract energies, there is this real reluctance to feel. So with the threes, we tend to burrow inwards and we don't really want to communicate how we really feel. It's due to a sense of safety. But also threes can't really feel. They're not really certain what's going on under the surface. And if you have fives, then fives are very connected to the ethereal realms, but also to the mental realm. And so they overthink and they overanalyze and they overprocess and they try and fix things on a mental level. But we all know that emotions live within every cell of the body, so you cannot just work through the mind. You have to feel and embody what's coming through you. And then the eights are an incredibly sensitive number, well, they all are. But the eights often really don't want to deal with stuff because earth feels too painful anyway. And this is a very sensitive one for me, and because I've literally just done a very, very deep divine healing session on myself, which is why I look a bit tearful and splotchy. The eights really just don't want to feel that very deep, deep stuff. They would rather ignore it, deny it. It's too painful, it's too tender. They've often got too much deep stuff, whether it's from this life or from other lives, that they're just not ready to process. They don't want to go there. It's too uncomfortable, too painful. So even if you don't have these energies in your soul contract, you might still relate to them. You might still relate to that reluctance to go there, that fear of going there, that not knowing where even to go. And this is kind of the work that I do, not just with myself, but with my clients, because the more we are brave and the more we step into that space of, okay, I'm gonna take some time and feel what's going on, the more self-awareness we can create. And from the session I've just done, and this is what my Divine Healing Manual looks like, there's a lot of things in here that I work through. I did some soul level programming, I did some hidden ego agendas, and it was all connected, and some birth trauma. That was a very, very, very deep one for me. It was all connected and sort of hooked in, and there was a big fear in there as well, a fear of losing people forever. A very deep one. That's where sessions go. You don't know where they go, but they just take you to new places. But when you go really, really deep into these things and you start to unlock and pull and clear, you begin to understand what's been really going on under the surface of that anxiety and that tension that you've been feeling on the conscious level of your reality. So today I was stressed, anxious, tearful. I didn't know why until I went in deep. And what came up for me was this huge piece about self-worth, which is everyone's deal, really, of feeling worthy to be loved, feeling worthy of rewards, feeling worthy of wonder in our life. And there was some very deep themes for me, and I wouldn't have really been able to understand them without having gone deep in this work. And now, having just stepped out of that space, that big healing space, I have that lovely clarity of, oh wait, it's just a program. It's just a program that has been really like digging at that self-worth, and that's all it is. And when you come out, you see it for what it is. And the more you see it, the more you recognize it. The more you recognize it, the more you can start to work with it. The more you can say, that stress and tension and anxiety is rising to the surface again. I wonder whether it's to do with that thing that I worked on last month around the self-worth, around the not being able to do things, around the fear of loss, the fear of blah, 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 blah. So that's where we're at. That's where we landed. And I wanted to share this process because I love to share when I've just done a divine healing session, because it's so fresh within me. It's so gives me such a sense of calm and freedom and release, and it's really what I want for everyone else as well. So if you like talking about emotional healing and you're on a journey to work through programming, conditioning and stuff that's kept you stuck or blocked you in some way in your life, then hang out here. I post videos every week, and it'd be great to have you here. And until next time, I wish you a very beautiful rest of your day.